What's good, yo? Guys, Princess in her Duma flags. Um, I I really was looking forward to seeing what magic would pretty much come out to be in this show because last time I checked, magic was brought up in like the very first episode, and it feels like this is the first time we're truly seeing it as it's been quite some time since we've actually gotten into what magic is or how people can use it and stuff like that. So it was definitely nice to see it make a return in this week's episode in the case of just actually being used and showing us what we've heard, but we didn't really get to see with one of the characters pretty much saying everybody had a certain infinity for magic, like fire, wind, ice, and whatnot. But we never got to see what everybody's abilities. Excuse me. We didn't get to see what everybody's abilities got to be. We didn't know every single person who ended up with what magic. So it was nice to have all that fleshed out and actually shown this week. Other than that, though, this episode had doom, our doom and gloom protagonist pretty much in the situation we expect from her. Oops. Not only does she continuously show us that, yeah, she kind of is a ditz. She's kind of just does whatever she wants whenever she wants, and it doesn't necessarily help out everybody else, including in this situation. Going and acting in the way she was this week's episode, it's just more reason why we can definitely expect her to do some crazy stuff at any time, simply because that's just how she gets down. Not only does she show us she has a lot of reckless abandon, she likes mushrooms. she she'll do about anything at a dangerous moment that she was in if there's some mushrooms involved and she can actually grub upon them. So yeah, she'll be good as long as she's trapped in an area where there's actually food, she'll be fine. But it's just another reason why I'm slowly but surely enjoying everything I'm seeing from her character and just wanting to see if she's going to keep up this uh, craziness or if she's going to be a little bit more reserved and can actually not have other people protecting her the whole time. But the one thing I want to touch base on the most is the weird aspect of just how the dreams were working. So this is the second episode consistent that we're having these dream scenarios where we're going back into the past and seeing not only kind of what our main girl who passed away is like, but it almost is telling us that maybe the past has either come and gone, like her life as that person in her first life or whatever, I think that time has been some time. Either that or something else really sad happened, and uh, the friend who lost her best friend to an accident and checking her text message and seeing the last message she ever got from her was that she's going to go and try to conquer the darkness prince, something that she really was having troubles with. And that was easily one of the more things we could, track her back from and be like, yeah, that definitely was a thing. She was hurting to get that done, and it just wasn't working out in her favor. But now that we get to this situation where we see like her side of it, and then we get a dream the next week, and we get the opposite side, the friend who wound up alone after all of this takes place. So it does beg the question of how long has it been since it took her to actually fully reincarnate or something like that. Because at this point, it definitely feels like it didn't just happen. And like I was gonna say, is the sad part could be her friend, after reading that text message, took her own life or wound up, getting hurt her own way or something bad, and maybe not much time has actually passed, but because her friend passed away and the only wish she really had was to be with her again in the case of being friends and meeting up somehow, some way, that would make a lot of sense that all of a sudden she has met her demise as well and she wound up in this game. But how did she end up in this game and at the same time or close to the same time she is to be able to have this relationship? Or since the characters are, like people were telling me, set in stone, it's just her spirit coming into this body at a later date and happening to understand that this could be someone that she felt like she's known for years and years and didn't know why, and this would be the reasoning why, like, oh, this is someone maybe from a past life I've had an amazing friendship with, and because I get a second chance at life, it's almost like we get a second chance at enjoying our time together. So I honestly don't know if they're fully gonna go with that and like just be like, yeah, her friend straight up passed away and she is inside of this girl's body spiritual, just like how our main character is in the body of someone who has not the best life of going at it. It's kind of like if you're born into the like one of the Disney princesses roles. Like supposedly, if you were the girl that was supposed to have the shoe fit, and you have all those evil sisters, you're gonna go through the worst times, but there is gonna be better times to come. But for her, she knows that she's in a body of someone that just really never gets a good time, right? So that's the main reason why this show is interesting to me, is because instead of having that be a thing, it's almost as if everybody she thought was dangerous for her to be in her life and whatnot are have now easily become some of the best people, willing to eat poisonous mushrooms that they don't know are poison or not, just because she's gonna eat them, right? Like, there's not better friendship than what some of them are saying and willing to do. Just in this week's episode alone, seeing how they all pretty much showcase their abilities in front of each other. Besides Alan, actually, the guy who plays piano, I don't think we actually saw what his ability was. The most he did was actually run in and save somebody before they wound up falling down to their demise, which maybe it wasn't the case because there was this shadowy figure following our main girl around, but I do not know if it was for everybody, right? Like, I don't know if everybody had the same shadowy figure looming around them, which it didn't seem like, because if that was the case, the girl who has the light magic was the first one to actually notice it, and it was only noticed when she was around the main girl, Catalina. So, I don't know what they're gonna do with this shadowy figure, but I kind of figure, no, I'll stop, um, that they're gonna show us something interesting with it, because you know who I think it is? I think it's the vice. I think it's the student council president. He's the only guy I don't remember seeing in full-blown outfit, let alone uh, like moving around with a squad, like consistently seeing his step by step. And just by watching him last week and the way he was staring at our girl, I'm pretty sure he would be as worried about her getting hurt just as everybody else. And if that was the case, he could show up. But if he does have the magic to be like that shadowy figure, then how does he also have the magic to do the wind? So that's where my dilemma might be. Maybe it was like some weird uh, ancient thing that they can use, seeing how there's ancient writing and stuff. There might be ancient artifacts like rings to make you invisible or something like that. But regardless, a good episode. I'm looking forward to seeing if they actually eat these mushrooms or, as she says, make some mushroom broth. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Have an awesome day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.